In the forest stillness, Buddha sat under the Bodhi tree, his aura radiant and serene as moonlight. I approached him, drawn by the promise of wisdom, the silence broken only by the rustle of leaves. Buddha opened his eyes, his gaze resting upon me with a calm that felt eternal and deeply profound. You seek something, yet you carry everything you need within you, he said, his voice soft and unshakably steady. I hesitated, my thoughts tangled in questions about life's purpose and the heaviness of human struggle. Buddha gestured to the flowing stream nearby, its gentle waters dancing and singing as they traveled their endless course. Do you see how the stream moves without clinging, embracing every turn of its journey? Buddha asked quietly. I nodded, the stream's fluidity reflecting a freedom I scarcely knew but deeply yearned to understand. You are like the stream, meant to move forward, not remain fixed in the illusion of permanence, he explained. The weight of his words settled over me, unraveling the illusions that tethered me to fear and longing. I asked him how one might untangle oneself from desires and attachments that seem woven into the soul. Buddha smiled, a simple yet profound gesture, and spoke of the middle path, the balance between extremes. Life isn't a battle of opposites. It is the harmonizing of contrasts to reach the truth, he explained gently. I listened as he described mindfulness, the art of living in the present without fear of the past or future. The present moment is where life exists. All else is memory or anticipation, Buddha said, his tone filled with compassion. I reflected on my restless thoughts and the way they pulled me from the reality of now. Buddha pointed to the lotus flowers blooming nearby, their roots deep in the mud yet blossoms pristine. The lotus teaches us resilience and purity, rising above challenges without losing its essence, he said solemnly. I wondered aloud if I possessed the strength to rise above the murky waters of my own doubts. Buddha's gaze softened further, his presence an anchor in the sea of my uncertainty and self-doubt. The strength isn't found, it is revealed. It awakens as you surrender attachment to what isn't yours to control. His words brought a calm realization that I had spent much of my life searching for what lay within. I asked him how one might begin the journey to self-discovery and freedom from the chains of longing. Buddha raised his hand, motioning toward the horizon where the sun began its ascent, golden light spreading. The path begins as the dawn does, unhurried yet inevitable. It starts with a single moment of awareness, he shared. I felt the gravity of his teachings taking root, each word a seed of understanding sown in my heart. Buddha explained the importance of compassion for oneself and others, the foundation of an awakened life. Compassion removes the walls we build. It reveals the shared essence within all beings, he said with conviction. I asked if compassion was enough to bring peace, to dissolve the conflicts that arise in human lives. Buddha's reply was both simple and profound. Compassion is the beginning. Wisdom guides it toward truth. He told me of the Eightfold Path, a guide for living aligned with truth and beyond suffering's grip. Right view, thought, speech, action, livelihood, effort, mindfulness, and concentration form the path to liberation, Buddha said. I pondered the steps and wondered if I was prepared to embrace a journey marked by discipline and insight. Buddha reassured me with his steady voice, a voice carrying the promise of transformation and boundless potential. Every journey begins where you stand. No matter how uncertain or unsteady your footing appears, he reminded me. I thanked him for his teachings, though words felt insufficient to convey the gratitude swelling in my heart. As I stood to leave, Buddha spoke once more, a parting wisdom carrying the depth of his enlightenment. Remember, you are both the seeker and the path. The answers lie in the steps you take forward. I walked away, the echo of his words lighting the path ahead, the forest alive with renewed understanding. Another day, Another encounter in the forest where wisdom flowed like the streams coursing through its ancient paths. Buddha sat upon the moss-covered rock, his form serene, radiating calmness that quieted the restless rhythm of my mind. I approached him, seeking clarity for thoughts clouded with the complexities of human connection and the burdens of compassion. Buddha turned his gaze toward me, his expression soft, his eyes reflecting patience that seemed infinite and unwavering. You carry the weight of others' pain, Buddha began, his voice a steady stream cutting through the noise within. I nodded, the truth of his observation lying bare, my heart heavy with empathy that often overwhelmed its strength. Buddha motioned to the nearby trees, their branches intertwined, holding the weight of blossoms, sheltering life in unity. Connection is natural, like these branches. The question lies in the balance between shelter and suffocation, Buddha explained gently. I asked him how compassion might be sustained without succumbing to the exhaustion that sometimes shadows the heart. Buddha raised his hand, pointing to the sunlight filtering through the canopy, illuminating the forest floor with warmth. Sunlight does not diminish when it touches the earth. It shares without losing its own essence, he said softly. I reflected on his words, the lesson of giving without emptying oneself resonating deeply within my overburdened heart. Buddha described the dance of existence, where giving and receiving intertwine, creating harmony within the cycles of life. The balance exists in mindfulness. Understanding limits allows compassion to flourish without draining your spirit, Buddha explained. With care, I asked how one might learn to recognize the boundary between sharing kindness and losing oneself completely. Buddha gestured to the roots exposed by the flowing stream, holding steadfast despite the current's pull. Roots remind us of the importance of grounding. Without it, even kindness drifts aimlessly, Buddha shared with conviction. I listened as Buddha spoke of self-awareness, the strength required to see oneself clearly amidst the noise of others. Compassion is sustained by self-understanding. Knowing yourself is the root that holds kindness upright, Buddha elaborated thoughtfully. I pondered the moments when my empathy had blurred the line between helping and overreaching. My struggles laid bare, Buddha's voice softened, his words carrying both assurance and truth, like the calming rhythm of waves meeting the shore. You are not responsible for every burden. Understanding this reveals compassion's true purpose, Buddha reminded me with tender wisdom. The trees around us swayed gently, their leaves whispering truths that seemed to echo Buddha's teachings in their movement. I asked him whether detachment could coexist with compassion, fearing the possibility of indifference overshadowing kindness. Buddha smiled faintly, his eyes reflecting a depth that spoke of lifetimes of understanding and transcendence. Detachment frees compassion from possession. It allows kindness to flow without expecting control or gratitude, Buddha explained warmly. His teachings began to untangle the knots of guilt and expectation that had formed within my heart over time. Buddha shared stories of beings who balanced compassion and wisdom, creating lives free from the chains of attachment. The enlightened live compassionately, yet remain unattached. Their kindness moves freely, unaffected by outcomes, Buddha said in his steady voice. I wondered aloud if I could ever reach such a state, to care deeply yet remain unbound by expectations. Buddha reassured me, his voice like the gentle rustling of leaves, carrying with it the promise of possibility. Every step toward understanding is meaningful. The journey matters more than its pace, Buddha said, his words dissolving my doubts. I reflected on my habits, the ways in which I had tried to control the effects of my kindness. Buddha pointed to the ripples spreading outward in the stream, each reaching far but remaining connected to its source. Kindness, like ripples, moves outward naturally. Attempting to guide it beyond its flow leads to struggle, Buddha shared insightfully. His analogy illuminated a truth I had overlooked, showing the simplicity in allowing compassion to fulfill its own course. I asked how mindfulness might be nurtured in moments when compassion felt like a burden more than a gift. Buddha explained the practice of presence, the act of grounding oneself in the now without dwelling in exhaustion. Presence reveals the beauty in kindness. It reminds us that compassion arises naturally without pressure, Buddha said earnestly. I began to see how mindfulness and self-understanding served as the pillars that upheld the strength of compassion. Buddha reminded me of the interconnection between beings, the shared experiences that make kindness both universal and deeply personal. Compassion is not a solitary act. It flows through the shared essence binding all beings together, Buddha explained with clarity. As the day's light faded, Buddha's teachings lingered, leaving trails of wisdom etched deeply into the landscape of my heart. I thanked him, the gratitude swelling in my chest. Though words felt insufficient to capture the depth of my emotion, Buddha smiled softly, his expression timeless, reflecting the peace that his teachings had brought to my unsettled spirit. Remember, compassion starts with yourself. It must flow freely, grounded in presence, and unattached to what lies beyond, he said, as I walked away. The forest's silence embraced me, the echoes of Buddha's wisdom guiding my steps forward in reflection. Another day, another moment in the forest where wisdom awaited like a treasure hidden amidst the quiet wilderness. Buddha sat beneath the spreading branches of a fig tree, his posture serene, embodying a calm that transcended time itself. I approached him hesitantly, my mind clouded with doubts about change and the courage it demanded in the face of fear. Buddha's eyes met mine, the depth within them vast, carrying understanding that made my doubts feel insignificant and fleeting. You have come seeking guidance again, yet you carry the answers within, Buddha began, his voice steady as flowing water. I nodded, uncertain of my ability to grasp those answers, my thoughts entangled with uncertainty about life's unrelenting transformations. Buddha gestured to the forest floor, where scattered leaves lay, each a testament to the impermanence of seasons. Change is the rhythm of existence. Resisting it is like fighting the wind's course, Buddha explained with profound gentleness. I asked him how one could accept change when fear clung so tightly to the heart and mind. Buddha pointed to the sky, where clouds moved effortlessly, never stagnant, embracing their transient nature without resistance. Fear arises when you forget that you, too, are like the clouds, meant to transform, Buddha said with certainty. His words began unraveling the fear within me, replacing it with a faint understanding of the beauty within change. Buddha shared a story of the butterfly, once a humble caterpillar, transforming through patience and surrender into flight. Transformation isn't instant. It demands acceptance of vulnerability. Yet it brings freedom unimaginable, Buddha explained with calm conviction. I wondered aloud if I had the courage to surrender, to allow the unknown to shape my existence. Buddha's gaze softened further, his presence grounding me as he spoke with compassion and unwavering belief in human potential. Courage isn't found. It unfolds as you let go of what binds you to fear, Buddha explained patiently. I reflected on the times I had resisted change, clinging to comfort despite the stagnation it bred within me. Buddha reminded me that life's impermanence was not an enemy but a teacher guiding the soul toward growth. Impermanence reveals life's essence. It urges you to embrace each moment fully without holding on to what must pass, Buddha said. I asked how one might face fear of the unknown without retreating into the safety of familiarity. Buddha gestured toward the flowing stream, its waters embracing every turn, every obstacle in their boundless journey forward. Like the stream, courage flows as you trust the path ahead, even without seeing its destination, Buddha explained gracefully. His analogy resonated deeply, illuminating a truth that had remained hidden beneath layers of fear and hesitation. Buddha shared insights on meditation, the practice of stillness that revealed clarity amidst the turmoil of change. Through stillness, you see fear for what it is, a shadow that dissolves in the presence of awareness, Buddha shared. I listened intently as he described mindfulness as the bridge connecting fear to understanding and peace within impermanence. Mindfulness brings you to the present, freeing you from the grasp of future fears, Buddha explained with profound simplicity. I asked if mindfulness alone could sustain the courage needed for change, fearing its effects might fade over time. Buddha smiled softly, his expression carrying the assurance that mindfulness was far more powerful than fleeting doubt. Suggested, mindfulness strengthens like roots in the earth. It grows as you nurture presence and trust in the journey ahead, Buddha said. His teachings began transforming my fear into acceptance, unveiling the courage I had overlooked within myself for so long. Buddha pointed to the branches above, where new leaves sprouted amid the old, showing renewal in life's endless cycle. Renewal comes naturally. All you must do is allow it without resistance to the inevitable, Buddha reminded me warmly. I pondered the nature of change and the way it called for surrender without sacrificing intention or direction. Buddha spoke of harmony between surrender and action, the delicate balance that marked every meaningful transformation. Action arises naturally within surrender. When you trust, your steps align with the truth guiding you forward, Buddha explained. The breeze stirred the leaves around us, each movement reflecting the subtle dance of existence Buddha described so eloquently. I asked if transformation might lead one astray, fearing the possibility of losing oneself amid the chaos of change. Buddha's reply carried a calm assurance that dispelled my doubts and replaced them with trust in the unfolding path. Transformation reveals your essence. It uncovers what lies beneath illusions, not distorting who you are, Buddha reminded me. As the sunlight began to fade, Buddha's words illuminated the forest, creating paths within my heart toward acceptance. I thanked him, though my gratitude felt immense, beyond what words could convey within their limited expressions. Buddha's final teachings lingered with me, his wisdom anchoring my spirit in the beauty of impermanence and courage. Remember, change is life's gift. It shapes you like the wind shapes the mountain over ages, Buddha said softly. I walked away as the forest embraced dusk, Buddha's wisdom lighting my steps forward, moving me closer to transformation. He gestured to the forest, its vastness a reflection of the infinite possibilities of existence. Overwhelm is but a passing storm. Beneath it lies the unshaken ground where peace resides eternally. Thank you for watching. Buddha's teachings are always with you. Subscribe to our channel and we will see you in the next video.